Welcome to I'm an Asset podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Breanne Smith.
And I'm your other host, Zachary Wilson. Today we're talking about senior quotes and the freshman 15.
Which is an interesting combination of topics today. I'm interested in seeing how you're going to connect the two together for this full conversation. I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be difficult, but just some things to definitely interesting subjects, both of them. So we'll have a lot to talk about. First up with the senior quotes. This came to my attention recently because I'm pretty sure they're due like very soon at my school. And I hadn't really been thinking of like all year. I hadn't really thought of what am I going to do for my senior quote. Like that really wasn't something I had been anticipating. But I already keep in my phone, I keep a list of quotes I like. Mm-hmm. So when I hear a quote online by someone that I'm like, I like that. That made me think, or that's wise. I'll just put it in my phone. Or even if I just hear someone in conversation saying something, I like pull up my phone and start typing it. And that way I can just, remember those facets of knowledge that I found interesting. And so you would think the senior quote wouldn't be difficult for me at all. I'd just have to pick one. And if I couldn't pick, I'd just scroll and stab blindly, But I decided I didn't want to pick one from somebody else that came from someone else. Because it's my senior quote, I thought I should come up with something original.
Oh.
So before I get into that, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's good for it to be original. What would you say a senior quote is supposed to represent? Is it supposed to be like a goal you have or represent who you are or who you want to be? Like, what is the purpose of a senior quote?
I think it depends on who you ask, because some schools don't even get a senior quote. And I mean, do you just open up yearbooks and read senior quotes? Like, other than your own class is probably the most likely. Like, when are you actually reading senior quotes? I remember a while back I saw a video that was very popular of just funny senior quotes that people had said, but it wasn't like wise ones. Like, just me, that's who I am. I'm going to put something like, if someone's reading mine, they'll be like, this is what I learned from high school, and this will be useful if you're going into high school, But other people are it depends on what you value, and because you don't have to put something wise for your senior quote. You can put something funny. You could put some reference that only your class will get. So
like an inside joke.
Yeah.
So it's not supposed to be some kind of advice.
It could be anything. It depends on the person, if you ask me. But for me personally, I want it to be a little advice, maybe. Some
advice, some wisdom. Okay. I do not remember having senior quotes when I was in high school. What I do remember is we had like most likelies.
Okay, yeah.
Do you have these? So
I think like we do.
Most likely to succeed, most beautiful, most,
I feel like in years past, there was a senior class that did that, but I don't recall the senior class we had ahead of us last year doing that. Maybe they did, and I just missed it or can't remember it off the top of my head. But I think we do that.
Okay. You see, I think those are interesting, too, to look back on and see what everybody thought, who everybody thought would shine in a certain area. And quotes are kind of similar to that, in that is something to maybe remind others about who you are and what you represent. So it's kind of, I would think, an important thing, almost like a time capsule.
Exactly.
Stamping something forever in a book.
If I ever look back at my yearbook, I don't know. I might be like, yeah, I remember that.
And you want to think about, like, one day will you show your children? And you want it to be tasteful, right?
Of course. So you didn't have, I was going to ask what your senior quote was, but unfortunately you didn't have one.
We did not have senior quotes.
Well, what would it be?
Ooh, I don't know. My grandpa used to say the same thing to me all the time. My grandpa was definitely, he and I were very close. He was instrumental in motivating me to go to college and be in the business world and make something of myself. And whenever I was, discouraged or having trouble with something or meeting some kind of challenge, he would always say, time, patience, and perseverance will accomplish all things.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really big saying in my high school life. So it probably would have been that.
That's good. See, that one's got a story behind it too. So
yeah, and now my father says it to me all the time. So just to remind me of what Grandpa used to say.
and now you're saying it to me. Look at that.
And there
No,
you go.
I gotta keep it going.
Keep it in the family.
That's right.
But it's really true though, if you think about it. Time and patience, time passing, and
Yeah, you kind of leave high school life behind when you go to college. And so I feel like the senior quote is a bit of that legacy you leave behind. They say people won't remember, what you did or what you said, but how you made them feel. And so, if those don't really connect, do they now? Let's see. Because this quote is more of what you said, but it is something that kind of gives more insight into that person.
Yeah, and I think you can, just like you said, seems to be a flexible purpose of this quote.
Yeah.
And you can kind of make it what you want it to be
Could
about.
really be anything.
Yeah. So do you know what it's going to be, or you're still thinking about it?
I'm pretty solid on this choice, especially since it's due soon and I don't have much time to change it. But even if I do change it, this is still a fun piece of knowledge. So it's celebrating someone else's success does not inhibit your own.
Okay, I have heard you say that.
Or
before.
prevent your own. Yes, and I probably said it because I'm passionate about it. And to my knowledge, I haven't read this anywhere. Like, I would hate for my original quote to be something I just read one time and just didn't realize it.
And it's stuck
So
with you.
I actually looked it up to make sure that wasn't the case. And after a bit of digging, I found something that's kind of close to it. And it was celebrate someone. It was celebrate someone's success like your own.
Oh.
And I think that's a bit different.
It is
because
definitely
what I
different,
wanted mine more to mean was it was coming from a place of jealousy.
Yeah.
Because in high school, especially my earlier high school days, I'm very ambitious and competitive person. And so when I'd see other high schoolers who are my age doing, amazing things, I kind of got a little upset inside because I wanted to be the one doing amazing things. And even though I had accomplished, some stuff, I could never get over the fact that other people were too. And I didn't know what it was childish. So, because if it's going to tear up your relationships with your friends and other people if you can't celebrate them when they do stuff. That's great.
I agree with you. It's also very difficult when you're sharing a success with someone who can't hear it and they jump right in and kind of tell you one of theirs at the same time, and we don't get a a moment for the win.
I try to stray away from that. When people are telling me about something, I obviously, the natural flow of conversation can sometimes take it to, oh yeah, I've had an experience with that too. But if someone's telling me something they're going through or something they've accomplished, I don't tell them how I went through something like that or I've accomplished that, because it's like, well, yeah, but I've done it too and I'm fine. And it kind of like downgrades it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where this quote is coming from, is like, don't focus on yourself here. Focus on other people, because in turn, actually celebrating someone's success and becoming genuinely interested in them actually does more to make you a more likable person. And it's going to connect you with more people in a more positive way. And those relationships will actually be beneficial to you. So it's hurting you to not celebrate and to be blind to other success. And it's helping you to celebrate it.
So it sounds like your senior quote is kind of your new mantra that you tell yourself that you've grown in this area and that you have found it to be beneficial in the way that you've changed your mindset about other people's successes and your own.
Yeah.
Very good. I think that's a very good quote.
I'm glad you like it. Well, I think now is time to transition into our next topic.
Okay.
It's the freshman 15. So the reason I wanted to talk about this, we have different viewpoints on this, which is good. Makes for a more complex conversation. If we both just agreed on it and then said, yeah, that's good, then it wouldn't be very much of a discussion.
Yeah.
So the way I see it, the freshman 15 happens because most people in high school, at least at my high school, play sports. Like everybody at my school is like usually in some sport. And if they're not in a sport, they're in some other extracurricular activity. You know, and you're used to being active all the time. And in college, maybe you're studying or spending more time hanging out with friends. You have more freedom to do kind of more what you want to do. You're not bound by some schedule. So maybe as necessarily, it depends. But
could you explain a little bit about what is the freshman 15?
I haven't looked it up, but to my knowledge, it's just you gaining a little weight when you go to college.
Yes.
And not like you're growing because you're done growing usually in high school.
Yeah.
It's more like a little...
You gain 15 pounds. Yeah. So you think it's because activity level changes?
Yeah, because someone's not forcing you to go to practice every day.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. But I also think it's probably you go from a very structured eating schedule, which is you have to have breakfast before you go to school, and you go to school all day. You have the same lunchtime, the same cooks are cooking your lunch every day at school, and then you come home and I mean, I guess it depends on how much your family eats out or cooks a home cooked meal, but someone else is likely planning what you're having for dinner a lot of the time. And so when you go to college, you just have way more freedom and flexibility in those things, and you can eat whenever you want. You don't have to have 3 meals a day. You can eat between every class. You can, you just have a lot more time in the day that's outside of class, and you have more of the choice of what you're eating. And I think activity level is part of it, but then I also think just this new schedule and freedom of what you put in your body.
Yeah, because you're the one making the decisions, like you said. It's not someone else making those decisions as much anymore because you're more independent when you go to college.
Right.
And that also includes making your grocery list.
Doing your own grocery shopping.
And when you get to choose everything you bring home,
yes,
you might choose some of your favorite snacks and stuff.
Yes.
And
which is not bad, but I think
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I guess it might, if you're unaware of it, the freshman 15 is what can happen.
And I think what you may not realize about your transition right now, you're already very much in charge of this, you and your brother, because I teach school at night a lot of the time. You guys have practice. There's as opposed to when you were little, we used to have dinner together every night. I cooked every night. We all sat down at the dinner table and ate dinner at the same time. But now we're rarely eating dinner at the same time. We're also rarely eating breakfast at the same time. So what I like to do is make a bunch of food on Sunday, and then you can either choose to eat that or eat something else that you make for yourself. And you cook. So you cook stuff for yourself sometimes. That's not something I made. And I think that you're already doing some of that. You also have done some grocery shopping on your own here in the last year. I'd say you've done that. So if you need something, you just run to the store and get it. Like today, I picked up a few things, and your brother asked me to pick up deodorant for him. And I was standing there looking at all the options of smells. And I was like, he should really be making this decision. I'm picking out the smell.
Yeah.
And so, and he's old enough to go pick out his deodorant and make that decision. So I did pick one, but, who knows if I picked right or not.
It's funny. Yeah, we could have a whole nother discussion on deodorant. Is it antiperspirant or both? And anyway,
Yes, we really could.
I hope y'all are looking forward to that episode. I think that wraps it up mainly for today.
Yeah, it's a good two good topics. So
they were. My senior year is coming to an end, and freshman year of college is coming. So we talk about stuff like this because it's just what's on the mind.
And, next time I really like an update on what's going on with, final days of school and what's going on with your scholarship applications.
It's really only 2 months left.
Yeah.
Because we're in March now. So, yeah.
Well, good. It's going by fast. Well, thanks for joining us today. And to check out our website, imanassetpodcast.com. We've got some merch and all our episodes are there. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
See you next time.